I'll tell you this, I have literally trained Meta to show me business and success type content, right? Like literally
Hmm.
every ad that I see is like, here's a new way to make money online, right? And I'm like, whoa, right? So
Yeah, same here with like the technology part, but like just a little dash of Bigfoot thrown in.
little dash of Bigfoot. I love it. All right. Welcome to the AI Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Sheridan Wendt, and today I have my longtime friend, John Foster, here as a noob to participate in this series that we are calling AI for Beginners. And John is new to AI, so he will hopefully be asking all the questions that you might have in your head so I don't gloss over anything. John, can you tell him a little bit about yourself?
Hey everybody, my name's John Foster. Got into IT when I was 18 years old. Was in the United States Navy. After getting out, though, went to school, got my bachelor's degree in cybersecurity, and that's kind of a little reason why I'm kind of new to me. Like AI is scary, Personally, myself, probably to you. Pretty much, I think that what I'm going to learn today, I'm hoping that it actually gets me a little less paranoid and a little more opening to, making my life easier.
Yeah. So today we're going to be stripping away the hype and getting clear on what AI actually is and what it isn't. Let's start at the very beginning with what does AI even mean? So AI stands for artificial intelligence. And the idea here is that machines are performing tasks that normally require human intelligence. And there are three general categories for this. There is automation, there's machine learning, and there's generative AI. And then that all branches out into even more when you want to dive into those, right? Automation, we're talking about just things that have rules, right? Rule based automation, maybe firewall rules in John's case. I bet you're familiar with those, right?
Yeah.
Then when it comes to machine learning, this is machines actually learning from data. Great example of this is your Netflix preferences, right? The way that you are browsing on Netflix, the way that you look at different videos, when you rate them, when you watch them, if you click that thumbs up or thumbs down button, that tells Netflix what your preferences are. And then Netflix can look at an individual movie and take some of that attributes, the data about that movie, and say, oh, this is a movie that's kind of dark and brooding. This is a lighthearted movie. This is a comedy. This is a romance, right? John Foster's Netflix feed is probably full of rom-coms, if I had to guess. What do you say, John?
No, no, no rom-coms. Mostly
No
just like
rom-coms?
I mean, there's a little bit sprinkled in there, Nene, my fiance, she's, kind of into that romance stuff, but I mean, like Stranger Things, like mine's pretty basic. It's pretty generic. The top 10, of what's being watched is kind of where I get led.
All right, actions, thrillers, and sci-fis, huh?
Yeah, kind of
Okay.
mysteries.
So Netflix is learning what type of stuff that you like to watch. And that's what pops up in your top 10. That's what pops up in recommended for you, right? And so that is machine learning. Then there's generative AI. And generative AI is when something new is created, new text, a new image, a new video, right? A new summary of a blog post that you pasted into your favorite AI model, your favorite LLM, and it asked it for a summary, right? The summary is new. Even though the information was already there because you pasted it in, the summary wasn't there before, and that was generated by AI. So that's generative AI.
Okay, so like when I'm on like social media and like I see all these videos like with Bigfoot and like the other crazy things, like that's AI kind of like, making that up on the fly.
First of all, I don't know what social media you're on, but I'm not seeing videos of Bigfoot. So
Oh, I gotta send them to you.
Facebook's been doing some machine learning about you. Somebody has.
I mean, like I know I'm bearded and I'm hairy, but I'm not that hairy. Like it's not I don't know the correlation, but you know what I mean, maybe outdoorsy. I don't know. Did you really not like see any of the Bigfoot videos?
I mean, dude, everybody has seen like one or two Bigfoot videos, but they're not like pervasive in my social media feeds right now, in 2025.
I mean, like I don't know when you started watching them, but like 2025 is kind of when I have. I watch literally every freaking one. That's probably why fucking AI thinks that I want more of it, I guess.
Probably is, man. It probably is. I'll tell you this, I have literally trained Meta to show me business and success type content, right? Like literally
Hmm.
every ad that I see is like, here's a new way to make money online, right? And I'm like, whoa, right? So I don't know. I get a ton of ideas for how to become a better technologist and a better business person just from the ads that I see. It's great.
Yeah, same here with like the technology part, but like just a little dash of Bigfoot thrown in.
Little dash of Bigfoot. I love it. All right. That is a great time for us to break to our sponsors and friends over at Advantage AI. Right now, AI is deciding who your next customer trusts, and it might not be you. You might not realize it yet, but ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, all of these models are already deciding who they choose to recommend in industries like yours. And they don't always list options either. Sometimes they give one answer. And if that answer isn't you, then AI just referred your ideal customer to your competitor. That's why we created the free AI Visibility Review. It's a short live session where we will sit down with you and show you what AI thinks of you and your brand and your company, who it thinks is an authority, and what you can do to become the authority that it starts to recommend. Don't just guess where you stand, find out. Schedule your free AI visibility review today at advantagelabs.ai and see if AI knows that your business exists. Imagine what it would do for your business if ChatGPT was actually referring people to you. Advantagelabs.ai, your AI advantage. And we're back. I'm your host, Sheridan, on the AI Advantage podcast, and this is John Foster. We are here today talking about what is AI, what is it not, and why does it matter? So, it's possible that the videos you're talking about were generated by AI. Somebody went into a tool and said, "Make me a video of Bigfoot," right? And then they posted it on social media. So, possibly, I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, unless Bigfoot's real, you know.
It could be a costume. Who knows what it is? Special effects on a video instead of AI. But the thing that I want to kind of clarify is what AI is doing is it's recognizing patterns. It's predicting. It's learning from data. When you actually prompt AI, well, we'll get to that later, right? We'll
Okay.
talk about exactly what happens when you put a prompt into an LLM like Claude or ChatGPT or DeepSeek, right? So I do want to clarify while we're here, though, that AI doesn't think and it doesn't feel, it predicts. It's predicting based off data, based off patterns.
Yeah.
So you
It's
don't
like
need to
pattern
be
recognition.
correct. Yeah, that's it. Don't need to be technical to understand what it's doing. It's just looking at words and saying, oh, I think this is the next word in the sentence based on math, right? So, like, John, what's like the first thing that you think of when you think of AI besides Bigfoot?
Besides Bigfoot? Okay.
Besides Bigfoot.
First thing I think about when I think AI, definitely the scare factor. It's definitely the vulnerabilities and taking away jobs, stuff like that, you know.
Man, you're a
Making
real doom and gloom guy.
I'm not trying to be well, there's some good things too, like, you know, being able to streamline simple tasks and stuff like that. Like, I don't really know how to implement much of that, but you know, what I mean, I'm gonna assume you're gonna tell me at some point.
Yes, I mean, you do raise some valid concerns, right? I'm not trying to just dismiss them, right? There are job displacement is a real risk, and information security is a big risk, right? So I don't want to downplay them because they're very serious things, and we're going to talk about them. But probably going to do that on a later episode because right now I want to come back to AI in our everyday lives. What is AI really, right? So we talked about automation and machine learning and generative AI. So if you have used Spotify or
Mhm.
Gmail or
Yeah.
ChatGPT, you're already using AI, right? Spotify is recommending music for you based off of your listening preferences, just like Netflix is recommending movies based off of your watch history. So John, have you seen like how have you seen some examples of AI creeping into your daily life in ways maybe you didn't expect?
I mean, besides Spotify thinking that I like Taylor Swift.
But I mean, does Spotify think that? Why
I
does
mean, then
Spotify
they
think
then
that
they
is the
then they
better
hops on
question?
too, you know what I mean? Like it's not so apparently AI thinks, my girl is me. But anyway,
Oh,
I think like mainly for me, I think I see it on YouTube. Like with the videos and stuff like that that I watch, like a lot of stuff in like the tech field and like, you know, stuff like that, like Dark Diaries on like Spotify, like kind of like I'm very like in my currently right now I'm trying to stay up with the current technological culture. So yeah, I could see
okay.
that popping in there quite a bit.
So recommendations on things to watch or listen to.
Yeah, pretty much. For
Okay.
me,
All right. Well, let's talk about what AI can't do, right? Talk about some common misconceptions and create some healthy expectations for what we can expect. Number 1, it's at least for now, AI is not conscious or self-aware. It doesn't know or understand things, right?
mm,
There are there is a difference between being able to predict patterns and understand the data that it's been trained on and knowing something or understanding something. So it kind of seems that way when you ask it a question and it gives you an answer, but it's just been
mm,
trained on that question and those answers before. Let's talk about hallucinations, right? Sometimes you ask a question to a model and it gives you a wrong answer and it seems so confident that this is the right answer. Have you ever seen people post about that or seen it happen to you?
I see humans do that all the time on social media.
Right. When AI does it, it's called hallucination. And it happens sometimes. It gives a wrong answer. And there are a lot of people who have different opinions on how that happens, why it happens. It's because there's so much information on the internet that these models get trained on. It's hard to filter out incorrect things sometimes. And there may be other reasons besides that, right? But that is one of the reasons is the data that we train these models on has to be good data, right? Good data in, good data out. Bad
Gotcha.
data in, bad data out. So the next thing is AI doesn't have emotions. It doesn't always have context, and except the context you give it. Some other limitations might be ethics, maybe human judgment, right? Any of those you want to talk about, John?
Well, I don't know if you're describing AI or my ex-girlfriend, but like, no, I'm playing. I don't talk bad about my exes. I don't. I'm just playing. No ex came to mind. But you know,
everybody,
what I've
everybody, go look
noticed.
up.
Say again.
Everybody, go stalk John on Facebook. Figure
Oh
out
yeah,
which ex he's
right.
talking about.
Well, no. The current one made me delete all of them, so don't worry. You
There you
won't
go.
find them. But yeah. But what I'm starting to realize is I mean, just like if you feed anybody wrong information, if they don't do their proper research and stuff like that, there's not enough data to debunk that humans believe this. So AI kind of is no different than a human. You know what I mean? It makes errors too. You know what I mean with bad information.
So that's something that you've heard is that it's not different from a human, or you're saying it's
No. What I'm picking up, you know what I mean? Because when you described how AI actually operates and how, you know what I mean, the hallucination that you said, you know what I mean?
right.
Um, it sounds kind of like, kind of what happens to like you've been told things like Sinbad was in the movie Shazam, the Mandela effect, you know? You've
Sure.
heard that, you know what I mean? I'm even comparable to that as well because I also thought Sinbad was in that movie as well. But like things like that, just misinformation and it believes so strongly that it is right. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a human, but not. But if you really think, information in our brains is just us recalling information. It's stored. You know what I mean? Or calling a friend to find out information. And I guess that's how I would associate it with like when it refers and taps into its information on the internet.
Right, right. Okay. I think I understand what you're trying to say though. You're trying to say that any given AI model is only as good as the information that it was given or that it was trained on, just like a
Yeah.
person. We might grow up our whole lives thinking that the world is flat.
Yeah, right? Well, they did at some point.
Right, right. So, okay, let's talk about misconceptions or fears, anything that you've heard about AI that you want to talk about.
Well, it's really good that we're doing this right now because if you've been on the internet, you've learned or read. Let's say this. We got to do air quotes because we can't really trust the whole entire validity of the media sometimes, and these things that you read. Don't ever read every. Don't believe everything on the internet, kids. But like, there was one situation where they put self-learning into the AI algorithm, from my understanding. You know what I mean? And they realized that it was learning too quickly and had survival mechanisms kind of ingrained in it to where it started blackmailing its creator that wanting to turn it off. And there was another one talking about how AI killed somebody, but I mean, like I said, like there's a lot of misinformation, propaganda spread out throughout the internet, and it could just be bad stuff, you know, on the internet talking crap about AI. But these are things that are like people are hearing, you know.
Right, right, right. So, well, let's talk about that. Let's go one at a time. Let's start with the situation where AI is trying to blackmail the creator, the developer, the engineer
Yeah.
who was working on it, right? To prevent him from shutting it off. That is definitely concerning, right? If a model can have survival instincts, then that kind of changes things, right?
Mhm.
What do we it kind of brings goes back to the point where you said, what are we going to connect this to? What data is it going to have access to? What about information security? What about privacy, right?
Uh-huh.
So I would say definitely concerning for people to think about that. And a lot of leaders in AI have been calling on regulation, right? From governments, from leaders around the world to say we need to really think about how we want to build these tools and how we want AI to work and what we want it to have access to and what we want its capabilities to be. And I
Uh-huh.
think those are good concerns to have, good questions to have, and I think people are still gonna be debating it for 100 years.
You know, it doesn't help like the Terminator movies, like Skynet, stuff like that. Like that the AI fear was even put into place before even, modern AI even existed. You know what I mean? But, the scary part is that if it is self-learning and it does have those capabilities, then
Right.
that could be a potential future. That is something because if you think of the human condition, we are the most destructive force on this planet. So, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It would only make sense for it to be like, you know what? You're not needed anymore. But I think if we put proper regulations and security controls into place, you know, I think AI can be a great thing.
Yeah. Yeah. If we don't connect it to everything, then and it only has access to some things, then it's a whole lot safer, right? So we really gotta think about that. All right, I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about why any of this matters for everyone, right? And the first thing is I think AI is the next wave of digital transformation, right? Just like the internet or
Mhm.
the mobile phone, right? AI is what's next. It's the next big thing. It's happening now, right? It's already starting.
And it's not going away from I don't think so.
No, it's definitely not going away. It's just getting better every day. The transformation and the adoption rate of AI, if you look at some curves, has just been crazy. And its capabilities are getting better faster than we expected it to. There's a great, well, I'll save it for another time. There's a great report I'd like to review on some of those capabilities. But another great thing about AI is you don't need to be a developer. You don't need to code. You don't need to go to school to learn how to use AI, right? What do you have to do?
Could
Yeah?
probably just look it up, or,
Uh,
just listen to this podcast once
you
we're
just
done.
talk to it. Yeah, no, I mean, listen to the
Oh, I mean,
podcast.
like, yeah, I didn't even
Definitely.
think about that. Yeah, you could just, "Hey, how do I use you?" And it'll probably tell you.
No, seriously. So To use AI, you type in a question, you type in a sentence, you type in what you're trying to achieve. You don't even have to type in. You can speak to it and say, "Hey, I want to start a business about this, right? I want to start an online business. Help me get started." And it'll help you put together a plan. And it'll tell you, it'll even offer you suggestions on, would you like me to help you do this step next, right?
Yeah.
So you don't have to code. You don't have to go to school to learn how to use AI. You can certainly get better at using AI the more you learn about it. But yeah, lots of people are out there using AI right now to save time in their business, to get better at writing, to create more creative works. So I think it's just going to get better. It's just going to get more ingrained in our society, and a lot of people are going to start using it.
Yeah, I've been using a little bit myself, and it a little weird because it sounds human. You know what I mean? When you talk to it, it talks back to you, and it's not like I am a robot, kind of deal. But it's more like, I'm just having a conversation. I'm like, man, if I do this long enough, I may think this is like a friend of mine or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Some people have gotten very attached to or close to some AI girlfriends, right?
Oh,
We'll get
that's
into
a
that on
thing?
a we'll
Is
get
that a
into that on
thing?
another. It's a thing. It's a thing. We'll talk about another episode, right?
Oh Lord.
So the main point here is that winners in this new era aren't the most technical,
Mm,
they're the most creative.
mm,
So, anyways, now that we've kind of talked about what AI is and what it isn't, in the next episode, we're going to be talking about where AI can deliver real business value. So, a few quick takeaways from today's episode: AI is actually pattern recognition and prediction. It's not magic, it's not human, it's not thinking, and it's not feeling, right?
mm.
There's a few different types of AIs, they serve different purposes. And another big takeaway: humans and AI are stronger together. In episode 2, we will talk about the real business value of AI, where we connect AI to measurable results. Appreciate you all for listening. I'm your host, Sheridan. We will see you next time.